It was the belief of Claude Levi-Strauss, a French anthropologist, that binary opposition is inherent to any example of narrative set in media. Stemming from his analysis of mythological tales, his theory on a supposed fundamental narrative of myth's dependence on these binary opposites suggests that the attainment of binary opposites as constitutional bases would be essential in introducing struggle into the narrative, strengthening themes and characters, as well as putting the pieces into place for the narrative's resolution. Introducing binary opposites into a form of narrative is an easy way to align the viewer to any set of intended ideals. When looking for approaches towards the construction of the narrative in Danny Boyle's Trainspotting and Shane Meadows' This Is England, many examples of binary opposite make themselves apparent. The opening scene of Trainspotting, for instance, is packed full of binary opposites to immediately align the viewer with the nature of the film's 5 main friends, and more specifically, the 3 heroine takers out of them. They are constantly juxtaposed with the characters around them during this sequence, whether it be with the police chasing them and the opposing football players expressed through the match cuts and paralleling of their actions, or the choices of becoming routine heroin takers rather than responsibly looking after the child they are bringing up, shown through the colours flooding each room and the viewer's helplessness to being drawn into the left room through the camera's movement. While the viewer's dominant opinions are not expected to disappear, and in some cases are heightened, Boyle wants to introduce an alternative perspective on the issue of drugs, encouraging the viewer to think slightly different, but also highlight the fact that this is in fact a choice by the characters to partake in these activities. The binary opposites throughout this sequence constantly remind us that there are alternative paths to take. Probably the most conscious binary opposite as the film opens is the contrast between the capitalist utopia that the dialogue seems to suggest and the somewhat rebellious nature demonstrated in these characters. As the speech progresses, this warped version of the anti-drug campaign devolves from what we might consider fitting, extending this opposition. Using binary opposites between characters to strengthen their difference in ideology is similarly used by Meadows in This Is England. Combo and Woody, the figureheads for the imposing interpretations of skinhead culture, are constantly presented opposingly throughout the film. We see it in the way they present themselves, and more noticeably in the way they treat the world around them, but the extent to which Meadows wants to present the differences in these flavours of skinhead are most present in their effects on Sean. The character is from the offset suggested as lacking a father figure, and it is through this supposed need for leadership that we can see the differences in these styles. When with Woody, Sean's transition into skinhead does not oppose his character, and it is by this that it feels so natural to him. This is opposed by the way that Sean's divergence to combo skinheads lead him to completely contrast the way he acts in earlier scenes, most notably present in Sandu's shop. According to Levi-Strauss, binary opposites allow us to align ourselves with what should be considered the antagonist or the protagonist. By having this conflict play out through the binary opposites present in Sean's alternative attitudes, we are encouraged to oppose this change as it progresses. Binary opposites are a deliberate way to progress the narrative as displayed in both of these films. Both Trainspotting and This Is England clearly demonstrate how different opposites can be used to extend and highlight others, as well as to align spectators appropriately.